Hey, ESL 106. We are here to talk about the article that you've been assigned in this unit. We're in Module 8. We're in Unit 3. And hopefully you've been able to look at this article called Disruptive Innovation. It's here in your book. It's on page 191. And it's an interesting article, an interesting concept. And I really just want to talk with you about the main ideas, about some of the main phrases, language chunks that you found. And then I'll ask you to go and do an assignment that's there for you in Module 8. So let's take a look at this together. Disruptive innovation. What does that mean? What is this about? And I'm interested to know what questions you might have as you look at this business article. It's talking about business, but it's talking about a lot of things that we could apply in other directions. Disruptive innovation. So, first of all, I'll ask you, where did you find a definition for this term? Right? Disruptive innovation, what does that mean? Where did you find the definition? I'm wondering which paragraph might have helped you. So I found in paragraph 1, there was a helpful sentence I highlighted. Towards the end, it starts with occasionally. Innovations appear unexpectedly and completely change a market, often replacing established products or practices. That I found was a good definition of innovation that's disruptive innovation. So my next question is, can you think of an example of this? The writer says, occasionally innovations appear and just change everything. Change the market, replace established products, replace the practices that we've been used to. What do you think of when you think of these disruptive innovators? Here were a few that I thought of. Uber, of course. Before we were in lockdown, Uber took over for the taxis, right? All of a sudden, people found rides by calling an Uber. Airbnb really disrupted the hotel industry. People started booking their own place and not going to hotels. Spotify is another one. It disrupted the music industry. People stopped buying CDs or buying something. They just would listen to it on Spotify. So those were 3 companies that came as innovators and really just changed everything. I'm sure you can think of more. This article so it wants to talk about this whole idea of disruptive innovation in business. And what is the main idea of this article? So which sentences do you think give us the main idea? And does the writer think disruptive innovation is positive or negative? What can you infer from what you see in the article? Does the writer want to show us the advantages or the disadvantages of this disruptive innovation? So these were the sentences that I highlighted. And in paragraph 1, where it talks about this is known as disruptive innovation, right? We highlighted the sentence that comes after that. Let's see. It's the last sentence in paragraph 1. The process of disruptive innovation is actually a generally positive force for both businesses and consumers. Now, I would say that gave me a sense of what the main idea that this writer has. As this writer supports this main idea, I see lots of examples and data to show me that it's generally a positive force. I looked also in paragraph 4. So this was sort of at the end of this long introduction, 4 paragraphs of an introduction. And I saw this sentence in paragraph 4 as a good main idea sentence as well. The power and frequency of disruptive innovation has never been as evident as in the past few decades. Two recent examples provide dramatic evidence of this trend. And then I see that section 2 is all about one example, which is in print reference books. And section 3 is all about the other example, which is about social media. So that sentence here in paragraph 4 gives me a plan for how this article is really laid out. But back to my question, is the writer positive or negative? I think we agree looking at these sentences, mostly positive, right? Talking about disruptive innovation as a positive force, something that's renewing and bringing new ideas into business. So guys, I wonder how you read this article and how you took notes. As you were annotating the article, underlining, highlighting, hopefully you're writing notes in the margins. It's a good idea after that to make a graphic organizer or make an outline so that you can see how this article is organized from beginning to end. And I'm asking you to use something like this, an outline that shows, oh, there are 4 sections here. I see the subtopics for each section. And it shows there are 12 paragraphs. And this is how the article looks, just in one page view. You're going to fill in this outline as you do the assignment for this article. You're going to give me a few words, maybe a title for each paragraph, right? Each of these paragraphs has its own topic, its own focus. And I'd like for you to finish that outline. Finish it in your notebook. I'll also ask you to finish it on Blackboard. As you continue with the article on page 196, you'll be matching some of those main ideas. I'll be asking you, what are the main ideas of each paragraph? Which of these sentences, which paragraph do these sentences match up with? And then you can see there are 8 questions under a closer look. And I wondered if you want to see my answers. They're here. For page 196, these are the answers that I found for a closer look for these detailed questions. And for page 197, these were my answers for numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8. So see if you agree with me. See if you can find those answers looking in those specific paragraphs. But the exercise I really wanted to go over with you together is the skill review that they have for you on page 197. On page 197, they say, go back in the article and find these language chunks, these phrases that are used in order to talk about disruptive innovation. And I listed the language chunks. I added the paragraph where you can find it. I think that might help. But you might want to pause here so that you can go back and find each of these language chunks in the article. I'm going to review them with you so that you can know the answers. So what is the first one? As you look at paragraph 1, you're going to find the expression negative connotation. That's a good adjective with a noun, the negative connotation. In paragraph 2, what did you find? A prime example, another adjective and noun in paragraph 2, the prime example. In paragraph 3, what did you find with executives? Business executives, right? We use that as an expression, the business executives. And what did you find with picture? This is a good phrase we use, the big picture, right? You have to understand the main idea or the big picture. Jumping to paragraph 5, there's another language chunk. It starts with middle, the middle class, talking about just that general middle group in any country, but in America, we talk a lot about the middle class as being the larger group of people. Number 6, when you go to paragraph 6, what do you find that ends with share? The market share. You're right. The market share is talking about the portion of the economy or of the business that a particular business has. What about in paragraph 7? What did you find there? At the hands of. Good. At the hands of means that that is the contributor. At the hands of means that is the one that's causing this action. Something happens at the hands of someone else. What about paragraph 10? Looking at this expression with updates, status updates, you're familiar with that. And another one in paragraph 10 that's a prepositional phrase. In the end. In the end is another expression we use talking about a summary. How about the last one, paragraph 11, a thing of the past. If we say, oh, bookstores are a thing of the past, that's an expression, a chunk we use to refer, right, to something that's outdated, no longer current. So good work, guys. Those are the language chunks I found throughout the article. Hopefully you were able to see those as well. Your next steps are to read the article, review it, annotate it, and then use those notes in order to do the reading assignment 8. You're going to find this in module 8. After you finish the reading assignment, you answer the questions about this article. I'd like for you to answer a question in discussion board. And again, this is in module 8. You're going to look for another article on your own that's about disruptive innovation. So you can Google disruptive innovation and try to find another article that will give you another example of disruptive innovation. I want you to tell us about another example that wasn't discussed in our textbook article. Which market did that innovation disrupt? Right? Is this about the music industry or the hospitality? Is it about healthcare? What market or field is that disruptive innovation coming from? And has the effect been positive or negative? So guys, as you think about disruptive innovation, as you look for another article, and then as you answer these questions, telling us about another example where disruptive innovation has happened, I want you to type that up, give us your response, and give us a link to the article that you're reading. So I'd like for you to put a link into your discussion board post. And you'll see some directions to do that. You can either make a hyperlink by taking the name of the article and going up. You will see the hyperlink symbol when you're in discussion board. Or you can choose the paper clip. It's an attachment symbol. And if you click on that, then you can put the address for your article there. So see how well you do that. Hopefully those directions are clear. And I'll be looking forward to seeing your response about disruptive innovation.